Online teaching, what works for me? When I teach in an online setting, there are several things that I find to be very, very important. And I've taught online for about 5 years now, and these are some of the things that I found to be critical for being successful in an online environment. First, I want to develop a sense of social presence, making sure I use good time management tools. I like to have good collaborative tools in place. The design of my course is important for the flow of the course, for student participation, and to decrease the number of what's going on here, or where is this, or where is that. So course design is important, as well as how do I ensure academic integrity in my course. So those are the things I'm going to talk about in this brief discussion of my tips for teaching online. Social presence. What is social presence? Well, social presence is giving students a sense of belonging to an actual course with classmates and a real instructor. To create social presence, you want to engage your students with video, audio, and different chat tools. We're not doing distance education justice if we don't develop that sense of social presence. How can we develop social presence? Well, we want to listen to our students. We want to engage them in conversation. We can have virtual office hours, virtual class meetings, and virtual group work by using specific tools that help us to develop a collaborative environment. Collaboration is disjointed, rich, can be asynchronous or synchronous. Collaboration provides a means for engaging your online students in class assignments. What kinds of tools can we use for these collaborative activities? Well, I'll go back through those in just a minute, but one of the important tools for collaboration also helps to facilitate time management. If you're not careful, an online course can take over your life. Students will email you 24 hours a day. They'll expect you to reply right away. You may get texts, you may get emails, but really it's very important that you have a plan for how to guide your students through a course, facilitate and manage the course efficiently. One of the most important time management things I do is I create a discussion board post where students have to post a question to that discussion board before they can email me, call me, or text me. Once they've posted a question in the Ask a Question discussion posting, other students are encouraged to answer the questions. If students answer the questions, I have participation grades at the end of the semester, and based on how they participate in this discussion forum, they earn points. And for really good responses, I give kudos to the students. They like getting my feedback on how great their response was to their classmates' questions. And it actually becomes quite competitive in who can provide the best answers to students' questions. If I don't get a good response within 24 hours, then I respond to that question and I give them what I would consider a well-defined and well-formatted answer. So that feedback is important. But by having students post the question in this format, all students get to see the question, all students get to see the answer, and I'm not answering the same question 6 times. And I told you I was going to talk about tools to foster collaboration, and I'm going to. I try to make sure I choose tools that are free, accessible, and easy to use. Because if they're not easy to use, then I end up having a lot of questions about how do I do this or how do I do that. And that's not the focus of the course. The content is the focus of the course, not the tools that I'm having the students use to work with the content. So different tools. Social media. Give it a try. Social media is a great way for students to interact with each other and to interact with you. My most important and most favorite social media tool is YouTube. I do an introduction, a very brief introduction, and I include a tutorial at the beginning of my course in my Before You Get Started segment. Talk about that in a minute, but I have a module called Before You Get Started in this course, and I have a few tutorials I include in that. One of them is for YouTube. YouTube is a great way for students to create videos and to post them. I have a little bit of an editing component in YouTube, so it's fun to work with, and students really like creating videos, and it's a great way for students to interact. They can add posts and comments to their YouTube videos or to their classmates' videos, and it's just a good way to communicate. I've also used a little bit of Facebook, but I definitely use SlideShare and Twitter. It's up to you what you want to use with your students, but find a tool that you're comfortable with and give it a try to see how that works for your collaboration. My other favorite collaborative tools include Google Docs, Google Presentations, and Google Forms. I include tutorials for how to use all three of those because they are very important to group collaboration, and I want to do everything I can to foster quality collaboration. VoiceThreads are another fun tool for creating discussion board kind of conversations, except that it uses different forms of media. You can include video, or you can do video and audio, or you can do straight audio, you can add notes, and students can have conversations around that. So there are all kinds of collaborative tools out there. You just have to choose the right ones for your course. Course design. Important elements of course design are your structure, the simplicity of structure, how you manage your course, and if you design with modules. I do design with modules. Everybody has their different way of organizing or structuring a course, but I like using modules or chapters so that the students know what's going to happen, and within that I have very specific management features that I include. For instance, all my documents are included in a documents folder, all the assignments are in the assignments folders, and every module looks the same from week to week, so students aren't looking around to find content. So I include that structure for simplicity's sake for students so that they're not trying to figure out where to submit an assignment, where to find an assignment. So as long as I have in the very beginning trained them to the design of the course, it makes the course much easier. One of the first and most important things I do is I create a module called Before I Begin This Course, Start Here. The Start Here module has all kinds of information about it. It includes the structure of the course and the management of the course. I also include my syllabus, my course schedule, and a brief discussion of the layout of the course. That will save you lots of time. This is a recorded discussion, and I do use recorded sessions for lots of things, but I do a recorded discussion of the layout of the course so students can reference it. They can see a visual. It's actually a tutorial of how the course is structured on the layout, and it saves me lots and lots of headaches in the future with students sending me email or complaining they can't find things because I've gone through it. I've given them a step-by-step show how of exactly how the course is laid out, what my expectations are, where they can find due dates, what kinds of things they need to know to be successful in a course. I also use recorded sessions to record if I do office hours or if I do quick tutorials that I think is important for the content, and I save those. Even if students are in those sessions with me, I save them and I either stream them on YouTube or use the MP4 files and insert them in the course modules so students can use them as reference tools and study guides to be more successful in the course. It's not hard to record a session. If you create a Google Hangout, you can stream that through YouTube, or if you're using a tool like the Collaborate tool from Blackboard. So it's easy to create a recorded session, and you can invite students in, and it becomes a virtual actual classroom. So teaching spaces in the virtual world are important. It's not just about jumping on a bandwagon. It's about designing effective, quality virtual teaching spaces. I hope that you've learned something from this quick talk on teaching online, and if nothing else, it's given you some things to think about and some questions that you're intrigued in exploring and finding out the answers to. Let's get collaborative.